Kleshodhikatarastesham avyaktasaktachetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhir avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So there are two classes, as we have discussed, Jnanis and Bhaktas. The Jnana yogis, usually they worship the impersonal form of the Supreme. They worship the energy. They try to meditate on the energy. And the Bhaktas, they meditate on the personal form of the Lord. So the path of spiritual advancement will be very, very troublesome for those who have got attached to avyakta, unmanifest energy of the Supreme Lord. Klesho adhikatarastesham avyakt asakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham. So their complete path is miserable, Lord Krishna is telling here. To make progress in that discipline is dehavadbhir avapyate. For those who are embodied, it's very difficult for them to follow. So first of all, it is very difficult to understand this impersonal feature. Energy which is spread everywhere without any discrimination. Whatever we are seeing, it is only Brahma. And understanding the non-perceptual feelings, getting attached to some impersonal energy is so difficult. We get attached to people, personalities very easily. So thus, when you see God's form standing in the temple, which is another incarnation, he is God only, who has taken the form of wood or stone XYZ. They are authorized forms. The example given is crude example, that of letter box. If you put letter in a post office, now of course we don't put letters like that. Earlier when we are putting the inland letters, hard copies, then either you go to the post office or you go to a letter box. The end result is same. The letter box, that red box, is acting in exactly the same fashion. It is acting like a post office. That is authorized. If somebody thinks, oh, let me also make a form which looks like red and I'll paint it like that and put letter over there, that will not go. It will not work because that is not authorized. Similarly, the Archa Vigraha, the forms of the Lord which are carved out of stone or wood or glass, sand, all these are authorized if they are done as per the scriptures under guidance of pure devotee. And if a person worships them, it is exactly as worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no difference. So if we worship such forms present in the temple and we get attached to them, it is natural. Getting attached to a person is very natural for us. But getting attached to some energy, it is so difficult. That is why they sometimes imagine the forms of Krishna, Lord Shiva, Goddess Durga, Lord Ganpati, Sun God. They tell you can imagine any form, ultimately the truth is energy only, but you cannot attach yourself to energy. And unless attachment is there for the Supreme Spirit, you cannot make spiritual advancement, you will get attached to matter. So in order to facilitate such attachment to energy, you imagine any form, and once you are attached to that form, you are on spiritual platform, you understand you are not the body, then you give up meditation on that form also, because anyway that is illusory. So thus, sometimes impersonalists also may sing bhajans and they may do kirtans and they may meditate upon the forms of Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Shiva, but their understanding is all these forms are also illusory, they are not real. So thus it is very, very troublesome. Either they will do such misrepresentations that these forms are illusory and try to do some stopgap arrangement till the time we get liberated, let us meditate on this form. Others, they try to meditate upon the impersonal feature. So Krishna is telling, Kleshaha adhikatarastesham. Their path is very troublesome because they have to understand non-perceptual feelings, get attached to some energy, very tough. Over and above that, they have to artificially control the senses. The material activities of the senses should be stopped, but devotee, by engaging the senses in spiritual service of Krishna, automatically stops their material activities. So impersonalists, they have to stop eating completely. Go sit down in the jungle, reduce your eating. Like Dhruv Maharaj, he was taking some fruits and berries. Then he was taking just dry leaves. Then he was drinking just water once in a week. Then he was just inhaling air, and then inhalation of air also he stopped finally. So if one is able to do that, it's very, very tough, very, very troublesome. Whereas devotee, he also stops his material eating, because whatever he is eating is prasadam, the food which is offered to Krishna, that is spiritual, and he eats as a matter of service. So that is why devotees don't tell, I am eating prasadam. We tell, I am honoring prasadam. Prasadam is another form of Krishna, spiritualized food. So I am honoring prasadam. When we eat, we say that. So thus devotee also controls the eating on material platform in a very simple way by spiritualizing one's eating. A devotee has tendency to fight. To control one's tendency is tough. So impersonalist has to stop the activities, but devotee will fight if fighting tendency is there, but he or she will fight for Krishna, like Arjuna is fighting here. In this way, Bhakti Yoga is very easy. Simply the activities are brought to spiritual platform. Activities need not be stopped. But if you have to tell you stop all the activities, such path is very troublesome. So such strict control of the senses, artificially repressing them, suppressing them, and thus it is very troublesome. And ultimately, because the truth is that Absolute is a person, and the impersonal feature is one of the aspects of that personality of Absolute Truth. So eventually you have to understand the personality, then a person cannot give up the impersonal understanding. So again it is troublesome. In this way, overall this path is very, very troublesome in the beginning and in the long run also.